Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look in the files of the dev server at the SMS Baden. This is the new event vehicle that is coming in for Germany at rank 6, and it's going to be part of the Imperial Flagship event. This event actually starts tomorrow, so make sure to check it out, and if you are interested in the good old battleships, and this coming in for Germany is the third of its type, the good old Bayern class set of battleships. In the game already, we have the Bayern class of ship. The first one that we have is actually the Bayern itself, which is right here. And then also at the same time, we have another one, which is the Sachin, which I'm sure I'm saying completely wrong. But this one, and I didn't realize they actually do this now, but if you have a look at the ships which are fake, and by fake I just mean not finished, so not necessarily completely fake, but if you have a look at the Kronstadt, the Z46, the Z47, the Sachsen, what you can actually see is it says project in the name, which is kind of cool. But yeah, that's a bit of a side thought. So the Baden is coming in as the third ship of this class, which is coming to the high echelons of the German tech tree. Now, it's very similar to the Bayern. There isn't really a ton of differences between them. So if you are a fan of that German battleship, or if you want to get access to it while just kind of, you know, grinding out the game and have it as either a bit of a lineup filler or have it as an addition to what kind of is about, this would be the time to do it. Alongside the Tank Football event and the new update coming out, there is a bunch of stuff going on, including the Pages of History and also a new Battle Pass mission. There's a ton of stuff to focus on in War Thunder now, which is pretty cool. So, the main caliber guns on this machine are 4 dual-mounted 380mm cannons. These have not a great fire rate, but they do have a lot of HE filler in their guns. Teddy was actually just pointing out while we were having a look at this vehicle that this set of guns actually has more HE filler than the new 16-inch cannons from the Mutsu, the Japanese machine. There is a ridiculous amount of HE filler that is in the AP shells for this, meaning that if you penetrate, you're going to do a ton of damage afterwards. Since this thing is a First World War machine and wasn't really modernized since it was blown up by the Royal Navy just after the First World War, it has access to the standard kind of First World War armament. So you have the 380mm, and then you have 16 single-mounted 150s in this kind of like little area here, with 8 on one side and then 8 on the other side, meaning that you will have pretty decent, you know, secondaries, but they'll have limited firing arcs and also won't be able to go after, you know, aircraft or anything like that. So you're going to be limited in that way, but it should be overall not too bad. Then you have some 88s, so only 4 of them. You know, you can see them here and then also here. 2 on this side, and then 2 on the other side over here. May I just say, by the way, every time I look at these types of ships, the beauty of them is just fantastic. Like, you can see the beauty of just the additional little areas of these ships. So much work goes into these things. It is crazy to think about. Like, look at how many of just like other little boats and things that it has on top of it. Even a little crane here to move them about. So much effort goes into modeling these things, which really should be appreciated. Like, all of the different lights that are there. Wonder if they'll ever work one day. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, it's just beautiful how these ships are made. Whoever actually models these things and then also implements them into the game should really, really be commended. Because it isn't just the fact that, you know, it is just modeled like this. At the same time, they still also interact. So when you hit this area with HE or AP, it will break these boats and they will disappear. But just look how much effort like goes into this stuff. It's just nuts. They've even got the wheel inside of these different little boats. But yeah, it is fantastic. Since it is a World War I machine, it does have access to quite a meaty underbelly with a ton of bunkers in it, and then also massive ammunition racks for its huge guns, and also the funnels connected to the transmissions and engines at the bottom. If you want to see the internals of this thing, it's pretty easy to do. You can basically just check the Bayern. They are incredibly similar overall. there is not really much difference between them. I haven't actually been able to find any differences. I'm sure there's a slight difference, but probably won't matter when it comes to the game. You can see here that it has a torpedo in the front, which is pretty cool. And also at the back, there are some torpedo tubes too. These torpedoes aren't very good though, so they won't be able to go too far anywhere. But yeah, this vehicle is looking really nice, and I understand that with the naval event, it's probably going to garner less attention, but at the same time, this is an opportunity. If you want to get into the high ranks of naval without having to grind through the tech trees, this is probably the way to go, right? This is probably the event to grind out. And also, since less people are going to grind it out, it will also be a vehicle that will be highly sought after. Since on the market there will be a lot less of them. So in the future, when people want to grind out the German tech tree, especially once they add stuff like the Bismarck, the Tirpitz, and all of those wonderful things, this will become at least a little bit of a commodity. Overall, it's nice to see it, and as I said, the event starts tomorrow, so it will be starting on the 14th and going to the 1st of April. Then I'm sure we'll get a April Fool's event after it, but that means that you'll have to grind a decent amount of stages to get access to this. 8 stages for the non-tradable coupon for the SMS Baden, and if you want to trade it, you need to get 750,000 mission score in the general game. What I'll do for you is I'll make a lineup list of naval lineups that I'll basically be using, which is quite cool. While doing this event, obviously you can just spam the SKR7, but it did get nerfed in this update, and also it does get boring after a while to play the same stuff over and over again. You can also get some decal rewards alongside the Baden, plus you can get a ship flag, and right now it does have a white flag, but that's just because it's customizable and you can put some other stuff on it. The general armor layout is exactly the same as the other Bayern classes, so once again, you can just check that in-game. Nothing will really go on around there. It doesn't have any decorations for this ship, and it does have a quite a cool thing though. It does have an additional skin. It's a tricolor camouflage, which is nice, and on top of it, you can also get 4 random modifications. So if you're struggling to grind out these machines, it's a little bit easier to do. As always though, look forward to the event, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank Schnitzel Stroker, Brendan Quinn, Vilneus, Character Fuel, Carrion Crow, Nicholas Richardson, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, B. Young, Opium Prime, Masonocrat, Lafouche, Alan Hacker, Sem Arslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.